Hello, YouTubers. It's Championdjk coming at you yet again with another Matchbox Monday episode, and we're going to take a look at some pretty kind of oddball cars here today. Starting with this one, we've got number 14 in the Matchbox lineup. This is the Royale, also known as the Monteverde High, which this is modeled after a real car that did exist. This is number 14 in the lineup, made in Hong Kong. Lesney products. I believe this one came out either 1981 or 1982. The casting was used from 1973 all the way up to 86. This is in 1/58 scale. It is an all-metal construction casting, of course with the exception of the wheels and the interior. It's got suspension. It's got opening doors. And is pretty cool. So, an interesting car. I mean, it looks pretty close to what the real car did look like. If you do, just go ahead and Google it. Monteverde. I believe he only made like 2 different cars, and this is one of them. So, check that out if you want to. And this is the first one we're taking a look at here for Matchbox Monday. We've got a license plate on there as well. Monteverde. Cast into the car there. And yeah, pretty basic design, kind of neat. So there is that one. And then next up, we got this one. This one's beat up, really beat up, but it is a pretty cool car nonetheless. This is a number 45 Ford Group 6. I'd like to get an actual mint example of this car. It's a pretty cool car. So I believe this version that we're looking at here is from 1970. The casting was used, I think, from like 70 all the way up to like 88. There's different variations in the tooling, I think. They retooled it like once or twice. And this one is in 1/56 scale. Here's a look at the base. This is Ford Group 6, made in England. Copyright date 1969. Super fast. And it's in really rough shape. So the wheels are not doing so hot. The windshield's got a crack in it. It's all scratched up. It's got somebody's initials on it in the back there. But a pretty cool car. If this was able to be like restored, I think this would be a fun little custom to make to try to get this thing back to life and looking kind of cool. Put some rubber tires and stuff on it and maybe make it interesting. I think the toughest thing would be the windscreen, because that being cracked right there, there's really, I don't have a way of really fixing that. As far as I know, there might be a way to do it, but if I ever get back into customizing and stuff, this would be a cool project. Kind of get this thing, not necessarily restored, but kind of just do a kind of a resto mod, I guess, is what you would say. All right, so there's that. And then another one, this one's also not in great shape. This is an Alfa Romeo Carabo, which was, I believe, just a concept car. A pretty interesting wedge design. This one is in 1/56 scale as well. This particular variation, I think, was available in 75 and 76. The casting was available all the way from 1971 up to 88, and it did get a couple of retools as well. So this is the tooling with a metal body, metal base. As you can see there, made in England, Alfa Carabo. Super fast wheels. And it's a pretty neat one. Kind of wild graphics. I believe the original release of it or whatever, I think was in purple. The car itself, I think, was only available in like a praying mantis looking green. The real car. And I shouldn't say really available, because I believe it was a concept, but there was a couple of different completed versions of it, I believe, made. The real car is a pretty cool looking car. I do have a Kyosho of that model, and I would definitely recommend looking that one up and picking it up if you can, because it's just a really cool looking vehicle. So there is that one, the Alfa Carabo. The next one is definitely another interesting model. This one's in good shape. This one is a Mazda RX8. Interesting little car. This did really exist. RX500. Look at that huge, I don't know, radiator thing in the back. Of course, this is where the motor is. And I believe this one did have a rotary, a Wankel engine. I don't know for sure. Someone who's an expert on Mazda probably be able to tell me. RX500 made in Hong Kong. Number 66 in the lineup. This is in 159 scale, and I believe this variation particularly is from 1981. They did release a lot of different variations of this casting. I believe it spanned the years from 72 into 2011. There might have been different variations in the tooling. From what I can tell, there may have been versions of it that did not have the opening back. There also may have been a plastic-based version of it as well. But an interesting car. I definitely want to get one of these in a Kyosho, because that would be pretty cool. This is sort of faithful to the actual car. It looks pretty similar. It's definitely not proportionately perfect, of course, and it's not true 164 scale either, being 159 scale, but it is really cool. It's got an opening part, and yeah, it's neat. All right, lastly, we've got this one right here. This is the Datsun 128X. Yes, a Datsun, number 33 in the lineup. This particular variation is from 73 to 74. The casting was used from 73 all the way up, I believe, to like 91. It had a few re-releases and stuff like that, or like maybe nostalgic releases. I'm not really sure. This one was in 164 scale, and it is an interesting car. I don't know anything about the real car, and I'm sure this was a concept vehicle. Datsun 128X. Of course, anybody knows any information about it, just drop it in the comments below. Always love when people add information to these videos in the comments, and that goes for you if you're watching the video. Drop down and read some of the comments, because a lot of times I've got some pretty intelligent viewers that will add a lot of value to these videos by adding information into the comments. So sometimes, you know, whatever your question is, it might be answered right down in the comments section by a viewer. Which is awesome. All right, so this one's got an opening hatch in the back. Of course, it's rear engine. Interesting looking motor. This is an interesting looking car. Definitely a weird one. It totally fits this era for 70s concept vehicles, like the Carabo, where they were kind of going for like that wedge sort of shape, and just made things, you know, kind of interesting. So definitely a oddball one there. All right, well, let me know what you guys think about these in the comments down below. These are kind of some weird cars, right? We got that Mazda, Datsun, the Alfa, the Monteverde. It's an interesting one. And then this guy right here, this Ford Group 6, which I definitely want one of these for sure, in good shape. And I think this would be a really cool one to kind of an easy one to make a custom of, if I could fix that windshield, or if I can get a different windshield or a door in a car or whatever. I don't know. So that's gonna be it. All right, so hit that like button, please. Subscribe to the channel. Check out the playlist for Matchbox Monday if you want to see other videos. Matchbox is a very interesting brand, has been very interesting over the years. They've done a lot of different stuff, and I feature quite a bit of a breadth of assortment in these videos. So definitely check them out. There's a lot to watch. And yeah, so subscribe, all that good stuff. Thank you very, very much for watching, and have a great day.